That's the thing. People will challenge you when you step into a new role, even if it's an old one that's authentic. Because you're like, well, wait a minute, are you faking it? Is this real or not? So they'll challenge you. And if it isn't authentic, it's very hard to pass the challenge. Versus, yeah, this is me. And after a while, like, oh, okay, this is him. And then they'll either accept it or they'll bounce. But it will disrupt things. And that's good, right? It just means that currently the dynamics you have between you and others, or even you and family members, are between the front and them, not the real you and them. Put the real you out there, it's going to change things. But this is also when it's scary. And it's tempting to go back. I'll see this, for example, during my coaching, usually around week 3 and 4. There's a couple things that happen. It's out of 8 weeks. So people start diving deep. They learn the tools, they get the meditations, they start processing, and their life starts changing. And 2 things will happen. On an internal level, because they're bringing a lot of this stuff that was previously out of their awareness into their awareness, they notice the urge to escape, distract, and numb amplify. So like, wait a minute. I realized that, suddenly I just really have the urge to watch a ton of TV. I really have the urge to drink a lot. I must be doing it wrong, right? No, you're actually doing it right. Why does that happen? Because, hey, if there are things that are uncomfortable that are previously out of your awareness, bringing them up into your awareness isn't comfortable. The more you bring them up, the more the urge to escape amplifies. So that's where you have to be even more vigilant, not to escape, do a release instead. That happens internally. And then externally, things start changing and it starts disrupting the status quo. And there's a feeling where they're like, oh, things are changing. Some people aren't resonating as much. Oh, some people are challenging me. I'm not used to this. I just want to go back. And that's why I have to remind them, don't go back. Going back is what led you here. You wouldn't be in the coaching otherwise. Like going back is going back to you before the coaching, being like, enough's enough. I got to do this thing. You got to keep going. It's like swimming from one shore to the next. Here's the known, your comfort zone. Now, when I said comfort zone, it's not comfortable. Most people, comfort zone is just hell, but it's known. So you're in this fiery hell and you start swimming across and you don't see the end in sight yet. And as you're swimming across, different challenges come up. Sharks swim at you. Crazy things happen, and it's tempting to be like, swim back to the fire, swim back to the fire. I don't even know if there's a shore, swim back. Keep on going. And it's part of change is having that faith, that blind trust that no, I can get to the other side. The other side will appear, and eventually it does. And this applies to transformation. It also applies to you pursuing your purpose. There was a clip I saw from Bill Burr talking about this, and I'm paraphrasing, where it was one comedian who said Bill Burr told him this, and it really inspired him. I think it was Andrew Santino. So he was like, I was doing this tour, and I was doing my comedy, and it was top-notch, but very few people would show. And it was a few years of this. And he's like, Bill Burr told me something that was really impactful. He's like, dude, just keep screaming out into the abyss. Eventually, the abyss will return something. And that's a lot of having that faith. It's like you keep doing the right actions, you put it out there into the abyss, into the nothingness, and nothing comes back, and nothing comes back, but you just keep on doing it. And eventually, something will. If you have that time, patience, trust, and faith, something will. Same with your change. I don't know where I'm going. Who is going to be the new me? I let go of the old identity. I let go of the patterns. You have to also form your new bearings on the world. You know how you fit in based on past version of you. Here's where I fit in. Here's who I resonate with. Here's what makes sense. Change all that. You have to form a whole new map and understanding of the world. Oh no, go back. Right? It's that good old, say, right now we're in Chicago, say when you were born, you were given a map of Los Angeles. Right? You're given a map, and I'm like, hey, go find your way around Chicago with this map. Are you going to find your way around it? No? What if you hustle a lot? Positive affirmations. No. But here's the thing. You've been doing it your whole life that people would rather hang on to the wrong map than give that up because they're too invested. It's known. It's scarier to drop it. We fear the big unknown. The same with core beliefs that run us, right? These are what we call belief trees. We all have core assumptions, core beliefs that get planted into us at a very young age. You're born, you're like, what's this thing called life in the world? Table, hard, okay. So we form assumptions. It's hard. Then from there, if this is true, then this is true. And we form new beliefs on top of these new beliefs, and we form these big belief trees, right? That all are relying on this core assumption. So one could be, say you're a kid and you look at your parents and their relationship and say they fight a lot. You might look at that and you're like, love equals fighting. You don't know any better. Hey, love equals fighting. And you'll get a lot of your core beliefs or assumptions from parents or whoever's raising you, teachers, and whatever the classroom believes. Those are the big ones. Or whatever society believes, because there's a lot of authority and social proof behind those ideas. But say you assume that love is fighting. Okay, well, if love is fighting, then whole tree. Now, more often than not, we aren't even aware of the core beliefs. Why? Because we never want to question those. If those are wrong, what happens to the whole tree? Crumbles. So it's too scary to even entertain the idea that they might be wrong. But identifying these is key, and then letting go of them. And this explains a lot of self-sabotage too. Why do I keep going for unhealthy relationships where we fight all the time? Because you're staying congruent to these beliefs. So that's also one where it's this whole map, and you have to be willing to drop this. And it's not just core beliefs, it's your core identity, who you consider yourself as, who you view yourself as. If you were to take your life, and imagine your life up until this point now was a book or a movie script, and you're the hero. All right? So say your entire life was written in a book in detail. And say you were to analyze the main character, you. This is a great exercise, by the way. Analyze that main character. Sit down and write a full-on essay. What are the personality traits of this character? What are the motivations of this character? What are the values of this character? And don't answer the values that you want the character to have. Answer it as if you were analyzing someone else other than you. What are the fears of this character? What are perhaps the weaknesses of this character, the things that should be improved? What are the recurring patterns that happen in the character's story? Analyze all of that. It'll bring up a lot of data in terms of core beliefs and your core identity. Another one is asking yourself, if I were to pick a fictional character, an actual one, which one encompasses me the most? Right? What character? Not who you want to be, but who really clicks with you. For myself, it was any character that fell under the self-destructive archetype. That's what ran me for the longest time. The self-destructive artist, where I would push myself to succeed to some certain extent so I had something to destroy. But I would never allow myself to truly succeed because I'm no longer self-destructive, right? So it also explains a lot of self-sabotage. It's me staying congruent to that core identity. Another common one is the underdog. I had a client like this years ago. He told me, he's like, hey, I have this problem where I have a really good job now. It was in New York, Wall Street. And he's like, I have a really good job, but I keep procrastinating. I don't take action. And it's reached a point where, my boss is kind of questioning, hey, I don't know if you were the good pick for this job. And he said, this is a pattern that's been running me my entire life. We dove deeper, and there is this underdog mentality, where for him, he always needed some big obstacle to overcome and people to prove wrong. Meaning easy success, did not like that. Would even get triggered at the thought of it. So he needed to reach a point where his boss doubted him. I don't know if you were the right pick, to then step it up and prove the boss wrong. Hey, see, I was the right choice. That's the underdog. It's like it's like the Rocky movie. I need everyone to doubt me and prove them wrong. Versus the perspective, and I asked them this, well, what if your boss was like, hey, I'm hiring you on. And say you did great, and the boss never doubted you and was like, I knew you were the right choice. He was like, ugh. There's no glory in that. So that's one too. The other one's the sidekick. I have an acquaintance like that, where he's always helping others, but he's always the number two. He's never the main person. He's afraid of being the main person. And everyone he's helping is like moving up, but not him, because he's the sidekick identity. You could also be the hero who sacrifices everything for the mission. A lot of hustlers fall into that. I'm going to sacrifice everything. I'll be alone. I'll sacrifice my friendships, relationships, but I'm the martyr. It's for the greater good of the impact of what I'm doing. That's another one. The other one could be the villain. You could be the loser. You could be the background character in a movie no one notices. What character are you? And then notice with that character, what are the pros and cons? How does that character appear in your life? And what kind of patterns? And look for the patterns. There's a famous saying that goes, nothing changes after the age of 7. Now, is that true? On your 7th birthday, when the clock strikes 12, nothing changes. No, not exactly, but the whole point of that saying goes, during your childhood, all this stuff gets programmed into you. And after a certain period of time, yes, things change externally. You get older, you move, you get a job, so on and so forth, but the patterns remain the same. And people notice this a lot with friendships, friend groups, where there's always a glory in terms of moving somewhere, where you might be, say, in a group of friends and you're kind of the not popular person. And you think that if you move, you'll meet new friends, and this is a fresh start for you to be the popular person of the group. And you might temporarily do it, but eventually you will find your way back to what you know. You find your way back to that. If you have no friends here, you might think, if I move, I'll make friends. Maybe you'll make a few, and eventually you'll find your way back to being alone. It's the same patterns. The same with parents. People will tend to look for the mother figure and the father figure and their boss and so on and so forth. It's this constant repeat. As we talked about before, the same with your thoughts. It's just this big Groundhog's Day again and again and again. And that's why it's so hard to change. That's also why most people's New Year's resolutions are the same every year. Literally every year. It's the same thing as the last 20 years. What? So it's diving deep and also identifying this. The same with money. A lot of people have very negative core beliefs around money. If I ask you, hey, do you all love the 1%? Anyone here love the 1%? Who doesn't love the 1%? Who thinks they're scammy scumbags, the 1%?
I love everyone.
Really? Half of you have no input? Love the 1%? Raise your hand. Hate the 1%? Raise your hand. You didn't raise your hand. Why are you not raising your hands?
Can you explain the 1%?
The 1% financially. Super rich. Who loves super rich people? Trustworthy? Great people?
Elon Musk. You hate him.
Okay. No, when I say 1%, maybe that changed now to the elites, but the elites. That's the new term. That's how I know I'm old. I'm like, the 1% back in my day. Now, here's the thing. Most people are like, eh. But say you have that belief. People who make a lot of money are not trustworthy. The 1%, the elites, not good. Well, then what's going to happen is you might self-sabotage opportunities for you to make a lot of money, because then if you make a lot of money, you're in the 1%, and you don't want to be in the 1%. The same as money equals greedy. Money equals selling out. Money equals cheating the system, et cetera, et cetera. Well, then you're going to push money away because you don't want to be that. The same with success. Oh, success is probably a lot of responsibility and work. I'm not a very responsible person, so I don't want that, so I'm going to push it away. So the same with, we talked about the two worlds. In your subconscious, the core beliefs tend to be buried, and the core identity as well. And you got to identify it and let go of it. You could think of it like this. Here's you, and here's this invisible prison that you're in. You all think you have free will, and that's true, but only to some extent. You have free will right now to say, clap your hands. I can do that. I have control. You have free will within the prison, but you don't actually have free will. Because what happens as soon as you try to venture outside of this prison? Self-sabotage kicks in. You've all felt it. This force that just reaches out and tries to pull you back to what you know. Think of it as your comfort zone. There's a prison. In terms of your life, you can audit your health. What's the health that I keep being pulled back to? If I take a big chunk of years, what do I kind of just stay at? Same with money. What's the amount of money I've just kind of stagnated at? If I make a little more, I just find my way to spend it to go back to what I know. The same with relationships, friendships. Socially, you want to know where this wall is? It's around who you get stifled. The people where you just kind of freeze up around. I ran out of things to say. I'm in my head. I'm nervous. Yeah. You try to venture outside of your prison. Now, what people do, you could view it as here's the guards of self-sabotage, right? Patrolling the prison wall. As soon as you venture out, self-sabotage kicks in. And what people do is they try to battle self-sabotage. That's when they use discipline, willpower, let's go. But you can never win. You might delay the inevitable. You might fight them off and go a little bit further, but eventually they win and they throw your butt back into the prison. You can't fight self-sabotage directly. The way to free yourself, it's the whole, instead of what, now, why, it's identify the generators that are keeping this invisible prison alive. Deactivate those, and the guards disappear. And the three generators are core beliefs, your core identity, past trauma. That's the way out. It's not as flashy. It's not do this one little tip and trick. It's what we talked about here today. A ton of introspection, a ton of diving deep, and it fades away.